തുടങ്ങിയതിന് ശേഷം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ മാഡം ഒരു 10 സെക്കൻഡ്സ് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക, എന്നിട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തോളൂ.
Okay. Dear students, welcome to today's Facebook live session of Indira Gandhi National Open University Regional Center Cochin. I am Dr. V.T. Jalajakumari, Assistant Regional Director of Indira Gandhi National Open University Regional Center Cochin. Today I am before you to share you about preparation and submission of synopsis and project. As you know, IGNOU has so many programs and so many master degree programs, and majority of the programs have either internship or project. A few programs have field works and some other practicum activities. This is not the time to share all the practicum, internship, project and field work together. So I am focusing only on the guidelines regarding project and internship. You know, in bachelor degree programs, BCA, BLIS, BTS, BAPCH, like that, many programs have project component. In master degree level, MBA, MCA, MAPC, MA Education, MSc CFT, MCOM, MSc DFSM, MARD, MA GDS, MA WGS, MLIS, MEC, MTTM, MSc Environmental Science, that is MSc ENV, Developmental Studies, MA DVS, Journalism and Mass Communication, MA JMC, MSc FSQM Food Quality Management, MSc Mathematics, MSW, MSc, like that. Many programs have project as a major component. In postgraduate diploma also, PGD FSQM, PGD MA, PGD ET, PGD CFT and PGD RD has the component of project. So some other programs, BLIS, BTS, BAPCH, BBARL, etc. are having internship component. These are bachelor degree level programs. For the master degree programs, MAPC, MSc CFT, MSc DFSM, MLIS, etc. has internship component. And some programs, for some programs, the project report and internship report has to be submitted at regional center. Some programs have to be submitted at study center, but the study center coordinator will send it to headquarters acknowledging regional center. And some other programs, students have to directly send to student evaluation division at headquarters, SED. Every year, students, they are doing like this. And at present, we feel, RC Cochin feel, that the guidelines and the nitty-gritties regarding all these activities have to be shared with the students seriously. Because so many students, they are not aware of the procedures, and that tip of the submission date, they are approaching regional center, and they are becoming worried about the date over and the leftover courses and time activities, etc. So difficulties are there. It will be beneficial for you if you are listening the details of preparation and submission of project and synopsis. For preparing a project, that means project preparation has a prerequisite. That is, before preparing the project, you have to submit a proposal on the project you are going to be done, you are going to work on. So we usually call it synopsis. It is proposal itself, and synopsis also does its mean, or its meaning is same, but proposal is more apt, I think, because you are preparing a blueprint of the project work as a plan to do, and this plan has to be submitted before the competent authority. Some of the programs means MAPC, MA Education, PGD EMA, and so many other programs, MCA, BCA, etc. also have to MBA, MCOM. For the from the current session onwards, MCOM also. July 2022 session students have to submit their synopsis at regional center. So MCOM is also a new program for preparing synopsis. Earlier, project component was not there, but for the current students, for MCOM program, project is there. They have to prepare synopsis for that. So all these students, again I will tell you, BCA MCA students, then MAPC, MA Education, MCOM, MBA, and the students of PGD EMA. They have to prepare the proposal first on the topic they are going to do their project work. Prepare the synopsis, get it approved by the external evaluators deputed by the regional center. And these students, these particular programs I told now, the students have to submit their synopsis at regional center. For that, what all preparations they have to be engaged with? Listen, at first you have to find or locate an area of research. That is, identification of the suitable topic, identification of the problem. When you feel an apt topic for your investigation, you may select a research guide for that. With the consultation of research guide only, you can proceed in the work of synopsis. Some students are capable because sometimes they are doing their diploma, master degree program, or this bachelor degree program, or the postgraduate diploma in IGNOU. After getting one PhD, or they are employed, or they are working at some higher education institution, they may think they know all the steps for doing a research, but as per the norms of the university, you have to find out a guide. Even though you are capable to do the work alone, find a suitable guide. Suitable guide means what? The eligibility of the guide is the most important thing. Eligibility means in the handbook prescribed for the particular programs, it is clearly mentioned the eligibility of the guide. What is the educational qualification of the guide? What is the experience of the guide we seek? And that person might be a person with approval from IGNOU as a research guide. For some programs, I'll tell you in detail. So these are the prerequisites or steps to be taken into your consideration for finding out a guide. That is what suitable guide. Then I told you already about the topic selection. That topic should be a researchable topic. We don't think that all the topics we are selecting are researchable. Researchability depends on many things. Is it possible to finish that work within the stipulated time? Can we conduct the research in the or limited economic setup and time consuming? You should not take a program, a topic for doing research which needs a lot of time, because at least 5 months you are getting for preparing all these things, a project report. So you should be able to conduct within the stipulated time. So these researchability conditions may be considered. And once you have selected your topic, you consult the guide, and discuss the plan and preparation of your topic before the submission to get signature. You don't think that if you are simply approaching a guide for getting the signature of the proposal already prepared, no, your guide won't be agreeing for that. That is why I told you at the first stage itself, if you meet the person who are in consideration to be your guide, discuss the plan and all the other matters regarding your topic. The guide will support you to finalize the topic in terminology, in a title framework, and you can start your work. What will be the objective, and all other matters have to be discussed with the guide. With the permission of the guide only, you can step into the works. Then, after preparing the draft of your synopsis, you submit it, get the approval from the guide, and finalize it, and take the fine copy and get the signature of the guide. Also, after getting signature from the guide, you have to attach with all the proformas given in the handbook. Proforma means there should be one format, a proforma, where the approval of the evaluator is needed and the counter signature of the regional center is sometimes needed for some programs. So in that format itself, you have to write your name, enrollment number, the title of the program, the details of the guide, and all. So that proforma is sometimes known as Appendix 1, 2, 3, like that. It is numbered and titled. So what title is given or what proforma is suggested in the handbook, that has to be downloaded from IGNOU website, and from the handbook you can take the photocopy and you can attach the filled in proforma countersigned by the guide, and place it along with at the first page itself the synopsis or the proposal, and submit where it has to be submitted. Some of the programs, students have to submit the synopsis at headquarters itself in the concerned school. So school, the program coordinator, the person or the teacher who made the program, who prepared the program, will evaluate it and give you the approval. After that only, you can start your work. So after getting approval from the guide, after getting approval from the concerned school or from the evaluator assigned by the regional center, so wherever it is to be done, that is the decision of the authority. Don't worry about it. As per suggestion given in the handbook, you submit it wherever it is applicable. And the final report preparation you can start. After getting approval of the proposal and synopsis, you can start your work. So for some of the programs, most of the programs, two things have to be approved. One is your guide. The other part is your proposal and synopsis. Now let us go to the eligibility or the conditions given by the competent authority regarding the guide. If the guide is approved, the proposal is approved, you can proceed your work. Otherwise, you can submit it again. Now, let us see what are the conditions for approval of the guide. For MBA program, MBA synopsis, you prepare with the approval of a guide. MAPC is also like that. So all the programs have to be done, or the synopsis have to be prepared by with the help of an approved guide. MBA approval is suggested like this. Already approved academic counselor can be. Any academic counselor means any an approved academic counselor of any course. That is what any. An approved academic counselor of any MBA course can be your guide. If sometimes your elective may be finance or HR or retail management, whatever it is. Any approved academic counselor of MBA can your guide. And that is already approved by headquarters through empanelment portal or through other mechanism of IGNOU, what is as per norms. MABC also like that. And BCA, MCA. I'll tell you one more point is also there regarding this one that I will tell you. For BCA and MCA, the approval is given to the guide by the external evaluator of the proposal. So when we are sending your proposal to an evaluator, that evaluator is approving the guide at the same time your proposal. Here, I told you MBA, MAPC, like that MA Education, PGD, EMA, MSc CFT. All these programs, the approved academic counselor can do it, and it has a particular course code. For example, a PGD, EMA, it is a MESP 49. MSc CFT, it is a MCFT 002. Like this, for every project, it has a code, and the already approved academic counselor for that particular course can be the guide. For MAPC, there is a guide list, particularly given a guide list. PGDMA also, a guide list is there. It is given in the regional center website. Otherwise, if you are approaching the regional center, we are always ready to share you the list of the approved academic counselors with our learners. And if you are selecting a guide convenient to you, sometimes by near to your place or in your institution where you are working, and a higher education person, a person who is engaged with higher education, can be sometimes be your guide. And especially for MBA and MCA, people who are in industry, in the field of commerce, etc., can also be the guide. But that person should have desirable qualifications and experience. If you are finding out a person other than that of the list, you can do one thing. You can submit the biodata of that particular person to get approval. Only after that we can approve totally your proposal. Now, for an easy reference, at Regional Center Cochin, what we are doing, especially for MBA, because last session onwards, MBA students are submitting their proposals from proposals at Regional Center. Before that, they were directly sending to headquarters. At that time, from headquarters itself, from the school itself, they can give the approval of the guide and at the same time to the synopsis or proposal submit. But now, synopsis is submitted here and the approving authority is at headquarters. To make it easy and to augment the number of approved academic counselors, what RC Cochin is doing, we are requesting that particular persons who are already not approved academic counselors to empanel themselves in the online portal given. So in the IGNOU main website, in the online registration portal, the second link is for registration of academic counselors. There you can click, and there you can tell your selected person to click and enter, and using their PAN number and email ID, they can register themselves. Like that, they can also be the approved academic counselor for not only for one course but for 6 courses at a time. So that will be very much beneficial for other learners. At the same time, for IGNOU to empanel more academic counselors, especially the programs are being revised. Almost all programs have revised now, and MBA is also a new program. So if we are getting more academic counselors for more courses, that will be very much beneficial for students means for the university. So you please request your guides who are not already approved to empanel their candidature in the online empanelment portal. And what we are doing in the section now, we are asking the students to share the PAN number and the name of that particular person. And on the same day, when we are getting the PAN number and name of the person who has done their empanelment process, means application process, and we are taking it and immediately we are recommending and sending that proposal to headquarters, and within 2-3 days, maximum 3 days, most of them are getting approval. This will be very much beneficial for our students. This can be adopted by other students also. That is very nice technology for us to increase the number of academic counselors for all the new courses. And I have a special request to BCA NCA students. When they are attaching the biodata of their proposed guide for getting approval by the external evaluator of the synopsis, they have to attach, strictly they have to attach the full biodata along with the certificates of qualification and experience. Certificates of self-attested copies of the certificates of their educational qualification and their experience. Because we are getting information, we are getting queries from the evaluators, whether what is the mechanism for knowing. So simply they are submitting the biodata. That is not acceptable now. We are strictly telling the students to attach, because the evaluator of the synopsis can ensure that this person is an approved person, and the authenticity of and genuineness of their certificate is easily available when you are attaching it. So please keep these points in your mind. Then, how to prepare a synopsis or proposal. Once you have decided the topic, I already told you about the submission and all, but I think little bit more I have to share with you regarding the preparation of the synopsis. The format of the synopsis is almost similar to almost all programs. Otherwise, that titles, a brief introduction I am telling, that is introduction, rationale for the study, need and significance. Instead of sometimes relevance of the study like that, instead of need and significance, the relevance of the study, some schools are mentioning. Don't worry, both are same. So as per the titles given in your handbook, because all the programs have separate handbooks. So the students of particular program, they have to refer their own handbook, their program's handbook, and where what is the title mentioned in the handbook has to be used in the synopsis. For a general matter, for a general knowledge, I'm telling you, introduction is the first thing you have to prepare. So about uh, the topic you have selected, a brief introduction has to be given, and the reason for taking the topic. If a researcher is feeling a topic as researchable, definitely there should be a reason why it has been felt or why it has been selected to do. That has to be mentioned in a brief manner. That is rationale for the study. Then, what is the need and significance of this study? Need and significance is, if you are doing this one, what is the benefit for the society, for us an individual, or for the society where you are occupying or where you are working? That is also relevant, because researches are for the development aspect of society and nation and the world. So, in which way you are considering, if you are doing this work, how, in which way this will be beneficial for our society? That has to be mentioned. After that, how this problem has been stated, means the title is given, but you can a little bit elaborate with 2-3 sentences. You can write how you have why you have stated this and how it has been stated your problem. Then, once it is stated, each and every terminology given as key, means, for example, if you are going to study the relationship between achievement and attitude of the students, like that, simply I am telling one example. Then you have to mention what is a relationship, what is attitude, what is achievement, like that. These are the terminologies or the key terms given in the title. That key terms have to be taken separately, and it has to be uh, defined operationally. What does it mean? Operational definition means Operation means it is in the working condition. Every scientific terms, key terms have scientific definition, scientific meaning, but we should not take as such from the dictionary, but how it works in our situation or in our topic. That is what operational definition. So accordingly, in a working manner, how it does in your topic, that has to be mentioned. Sometimes we may take some liberty to dilute it, or its meaning may be interpreted or implemented in a particular manner in our topic. That you can mention. That is what operational definition. Then you have to specifically mention objectives of your study, then hypothesis of your study, then a brief methodology, then statistical techniques to be used. Finally, the time framework means how much of time you are going to take for each step. These are the things to be kept in mind while preparing the synopsis. So, in a good synopsis, all these steps are there, and the evaluator will check it. One thing also you can include a brief review of related literature. That will also good. Before stating the problem, before after doing the rationale for the study, you can add some 2-3 reviews also, because without reading the other works done already in the field, nobody can get into a research work. So that is very much needful step to find out the review of related literature. Means you are going to review. You don't copy as such. Just you write what you have seen related to this particular study in other works and write as a review. Brief writing you have to include in the synopsis. Thus, the synopsis prepared, submitted, and sometimes you may get approval. Otherwise, it may not be approved. Then you can submit like that. I'll tell you some other thing. What is methodology? Methodology is the design. Briefly, I told brief methodology is to be used, written in the synopsis. What all things has to be included in that methodology? Then, what design you are going to adopt? Sometimes your work will be a descriptive research or experimental research or analytical study with a case study. Like that, so many designs are there. In which design you are, one sentence is needed at least. 2-3 sentences are, if you are using that also acceptable, no problem. But there is no need of elaborate writing. That can be written in the final project report. Here, you just mention which design you are using and in which population you are going to administer this study or you are doing research. Population, you know, if you are going to do, especially a particular case, you are going. I was telling about the comparative study regarding 2 variables and the relation between 2 variables you are going to study, and among whom you are going to conduct this study, or the results finally you are getting will be applicable in which community or which people. That is what population. If you are doing a study, particularly taking the sample from a higher secondary level, then the whole higher secondary students in Kerala or in other state where you are taking, there the whole people will be considered as population. But it is not possible while doing the research. So you have to simplify it by locating your study in a sample. A typical sample has to be taken always, and the whole peculiarities of this population has to be reflected in the sample. Means a nice interception of this population has to be taken typically to apply. For that, you can apply so many sampling techniques. Sometimes randomly you can select, or every 10th of the item you can take, or as per convenience, the nearby school or district or estate, like that you are selecting, and in which you can select a particular group of students from a particular cluster or from a particular number of students from one district and the same from another district, like that. Or you can locate your study in a district itself, and there, if imagine, suppose that a 200 schools are 200 higher secondary schools are there in a particular district, you are selecting 4 schools with all the peculiarities of the population. That is sampling. Then, in which way you are going to collect the data from the students? Sometimes you are using one questionnaire, or you are going to do some experimental studies. Then you are conducting an experiment among them. Like that, which design you are implementing, on the basis of that, you can use the tools. So, which tool you are planning to do, that has to be mentioned in the synopsis. And by which technique you will select that uh, sample, and which technique you are using for preparing your tool. So, if you are using a questionnaire is the tool. The preparation of the questionnaire is known as technique, or how you are doing it. So many detailed matters are there. This is not the time to tell everything, and you can utilize the standardized tool always. That is very nice, but in a small study you are doing for a postgraduate diploma, sometimes you won't get sufficient time to standardize your tool. Then you can purposively you can prepare one particular tool, a questionnaire, rating scale, or what is used or what is planned to use by you, with the help of the guide. And you can also use the help of some other experts in that particular field to finalize the tool. And any way that has to be reached finally at the guides at the guide for final approval, then only you should finalize it. But a plan should be there in your mind. That plan, which tool I am using, by name, or with a 1 or 2 lines you can add. That planning has to be there in the methodology. So when you are preparing the brief methodology, you have to mention the design, population, sample, tool, and whether the tool is taken a standardized tool, or you self-made or teacher-made, or like that you can mention. Then these are the main points you have to remember in the preparation of synopsis and submission. Then project, after getting approval, you can stick on your project final report preparation. Final report has to be prepared after doing research. Without doing the research, you cannot prepare the project as such. So never, you don't think that you can prepare one research project in 1 month or 2 months. Definitely, if you are sincerely doing it, it will take much more time. So immediately after getting the approval, you work on tool, prepare the tool as we have mentioned all, and then you administer to the tool where it is suitable, or where the sample is selected, from where the sample is selected, with the help of the authority of that institution. If you are going to administer your tool, or you are selecting the sample from an industry, get the permission of the industry people with submitting a permission letter, then administer the tool there, collect the sample. If you are doing in a school, you meet the head of the institution, get the permission, their time, their convenience, and all. This is applicable for all. And if you are doing an experimental study, definitely it will take more time. It is a real time work you are doing. For that also, you will take much more time. So get permission to do that, and implement it very nicely. Then take the data from that, collect your data from that, and then analyze the data patiently at home using. You can use computer for data analysis, and for some calculations we have to have our hands-on experience, means manually you have to do some calculations. But nowadays in Excel sheet and in so many other SPS tools, data analysis tools are available. So in one day you can analyze your data if it is clearly prepared after collection. Directly you can go for data collection. By post you can send your prepared questionnaire and all. At the same time you can collect the email of the people, and you can give it to them by email. And the best method nowadays in the digital era we are using is Google Form. So what tool you are preparing can be converted into Google Form, and you can share it in 1 second with the client, with the sample, and at the same time you will get the data back from the person to whom you have given it. Sometimes for some survey researches, you can collect primary data itself, like this, like administering our own tool and all. Sometimes you can collect the secondary data also. If you are going to do some survey from particular institutions, already there may be the data regarding that you can collect and you can use it. But that too with the permission of the consent authority, and that is not never it should be an illegal data, because the permission and the sanction of the consent of the person who is who this data is with whom, that has to be ensured and get the permission from them. And like that, obediently you have to do the tests and experiments if you are doing an experimental research. So I already told you about the different types of tools and its preparation. There is no need to tell again. Then finally, now after data analysis, you are ready to write the report. While writing the report in chapters, the preliminary portion is the title. In one particular, in one full sheet, the title in a bold manner, you have to write centralized bold way according to the length of the title. You can place it, you can write your name, your enrollment number, the details to which for which program it has to be submitted, the course code, and who was the guide, and the emblem and the other matters of IGNOU. The time means which session you are going to submit. All these matters comes in the first page. Then your self declaration will be there. I am doing this research first time, this is a bona fide thing, like that you have to declare and put your signature. After that you put the certification from the guide. One page is there. After going through your final report, the guide will certify it, guide will give signature. You can prepare the index like matters like table of content, etc. It will be easy for the evaluator. How many things you have done, how many things you have prepared, what are they, like that. An overall look, it is very easy for you. Then like next first chapter will be an introduction. This is almost equal to the proposal, but it will be done elaborately. The second chapter is specifically for review of related literature. We have given a little bit write-up as a sample in the synopsis, but now it's you have to go through so many works done by other people, sometimes write-ups in the journals, articles, dissertations, published thesis, sometimes maybe newspaper content, or some books, like that. Whatever things we need as a reference has to be referred, and that has to be written in a brief manner, and it is in a review. If we are you think that we are simply reading something and we are not replicating all the matters as such in our write-up. We are reading it and we are taking the necessary portion only in our own language. Don't copy it. You are converting it in your own language, in which manner it is selected for your use and how it is helpful for you, that has to be mentioned in the review. So many review studies has to be included in that itself is a chapter. Several compartmentalizations are also there. You can categorize into in some studies from abroad, studies in from India, like that, according to the relevance of the title or the criteria. You have to prepare it and write it. In the third chapter, it is methodology. Here, very in a detailed manner, you have to write what is to be going to be, about the design you have selected, about the population sample tool, and the preparation of the sample in a brief manner, in an elaborated manner. Brief manner you have written in the, it's proposed in the proposal, but here what you have done for the preparation of the tool, and how who helped you from where you have taken the standardized thing, and what is the name of the tool, and what is the relevant points which is suitable for your thing, and everything has to be written, and how you administered it, and how you collected the data, and how you uh, planned for statistics. Up to that you have to write in methodology. Then in the next chapter, fourth chapter, is analysis and interpretation of the data. For easy reference, you can analyze the data, and you can place it in tables. You can prepare tables, graphs, and other figures for easy analysis and easy understanding of the evaluator, and anybody who is referring your thesis later can also understand it well if you are preparing report, and if you are preparing the analyzed data in tables and figures. And in each table, immediately after each table, each figure, your result has to be discussed. You clearly write what is the result aroused from the analysis of each part, and that has to be very much combined with, or matched, to be matched with the objective you have framed and to the hypothesis. Then only you can prove the hypothesis. Totally the work of research is the verification and proving of your hypothesis. Then you can come to a conclusion. That is finding. That finding is the thing, the outcome of our study. And along with that, in the conclusion chapter, findings separately has to be done. There, what is the implication of your findings in the particular field where you are, or from where you have taken the topic? Then you may never, we can stop a research. So your study should be an inspiration or motivation, or a key suggestion to other. It should be for others, for your peers, or for others in the coming generation, or in the coming sessions. So write the suggestions for further research. I have delimited my topic, like my research like this, but there is a scope for doing this much of things, and this can be done by others. Like that, you have to guide them. Finally, you can conclude it. That is the last chapter for that. But without mentioning chapter name, bibliography has to be written. So what all things you have referred in the review of related literature, and for all part of the topic, definitely you have to prepare a reference, and it has to be prepared in a particular manner. And so many formats are there for preparation of bibliography. In your research methodology paper, it is clearly mentioned. For all the master degree programs, on research methodology course will be there. So go through that, learn it well, write the examination. After that, you do this one. That is why in the last session, or in the final year, always we are giving project. So read well and go through the bibliography part, and how to prepare, and different types of preparations are there, and which format you are using and implementing in your study, that also mentioned. And finally, appendices are there, where what are the appendices? First one is your synopsis, approved synopsis. The first appendix you are using is the approved synopsis. That is a mandatory matter. First, the examiner will check whether the approved synopsis is given, what all modifications are written there, whether the student have followed the modification. Otherwise, they will criticize you. They will ask, why didn't you obey the criticism or observations made by the evaluator? Examiner is always an expert. So follow that. And attach all the matters. The tool has to be attached. Any other things you have used, formats from any other area, attach all that as appendix. And any formats it needed to be attached as per the suggestion from the handbook, that also to be attached. Now the report will be in a full-fledged manner. This type of report only can be taken into consideration for evaluation. And remember the deadlines of synopsis submission and project submission. I'm specifically telling one long time is given for MBA students. For all the MBA students, 232, MMPC 00, sorry, MMPC 001. is the um, project course code of the MBA students. After getting approval, they can submit. MBA students can submit their synopsis at any time. There is no a time frame given for at any time they can submit it. And it is a continuous process. At any time you can submit it, and we will evaluate without any discrimination regarding sessions, time, and all. We will approve it. We will give you back. But when you are submitting the uh, report, final report at headquarters, so synopsis only is given at regional center, and the final report has to be given at the headquarters. There, the final report you can submit for June session from December 1st onwards. Once it is prepared, you can submit because it is given in the third semester. MBA students, the third semester project is given. You get it up, get the synopsis approved from regional center and prepare the final report and submit from. Submit means at any time you can submit from December 1st to 31st of May. Within that period, it has to be reached at headquarters. Like that, the students who are planning to submit for a December session, they can submit it from June 1st to November 30th. So once again, I will tell this. For the for the June term and examination session consideration, you can submit your report. MBA students only is needed to accept this suggestion, because for other programs it is different. From December 1st to May 31st. And for December term and examination session, from June 1st to November 30th, you can submit the project. Other students, other program students may read and follow the guidelines given in the handbook. This much of time may not be allotted for other students. So carefully you go through the deadlines and submit it. Once it is expired, validity is expired, you cannot claim for anything. Then only there is no readmission. So only the provision is that taking fresh admission again and transferring the already done credits, completed credits into the new one. That will be a very costly process. So we cannot tell you to go up to that time. Always it is better to do in the minimum period, otherwise in the maximum period. Going beyond is very difficult. Possibilities are there, but it will be difficult and very costly also, expensive. So think what to do. And some of the programs have Viva OC that you know, and the Viva OC students may have to pay that I will tell you when I'm telling about the examination. And some programs, so you can submit at either at regional center or to SED, Student Evaluation Division. And there is a provision for online submission also. There is a link given in the IGNOU website for submission of your synopsis, project work, and practicums like that. So you can submit your reports through link. You take the scan, you prepare everything like this, put your original signature, get the signature of the guide, then scan each and every page one by one, then submit it. A Google form is there. Fill up the Google form and submit the place given, and that way also you can submit. And now I am telling about, briefly I will tell you about almost the things are like this only, but in internship the formality is different. For internship you are going to an institution for hands-on experience. BLIS students, MSc CFT students, MSc DFSM students, MAPC students, BAPC students, they all have to go for internship. So what are things you are studying in your theory has to be learned through hands-on experience. That is what internship. So identify one institution for internship, get the permission if needed. You get a consent letter from regional center or from your study center, and then be there. Your attendance is needed because it's hands-on experience. That's why I told it. At the period of COVID or during that pandemic period, many people were using online programs, etc. Online provisions are also there, but according to the program, definitely you may decide which is better. Always better to have a hands-on experience in face-to-face mode. Go there properly in the prescribed time, 240 hours, 120 hours, like that. Time frame is given there for internship. 3 months are there. For BLIS, MLIS students, SOP is different. I have shared all this with all the students of Regional Center Cochin, and what all revisions are there, what all new information comes from New Delhi. That is also we are sharing with you, all students. So go through the SOPs given, go through the guidelines of handbook and handbook of internship and project, and do that. Involve it genuinely and with integrity. That is what I told. Without going there, you don't copy others' work. When you are coming for Vivos, it is very much clear to the examiner and the people who are observing from regional center that whether it has been done or not. It is the duty of the student. You are not studying only for getting a certificate, but for learning, but for studying, to get information, to get knowledge of your field. Otherwise, your degree won't be a valid one, genuine one. So, be masters in the thing what you are going through in life. Also, be experienced with that experience only. That is what learning experience. So, show your integrity always. Genuinely, you do your matters. Then you will get an internal mark from the agency supervisor, your academic counselor. At the same time, at the Viva OC, you will get uh, external mark. Now, finally, I am telling you what are the research ethics, because nowadays for research students, coursework is there. If you are doing PhD, a research ethics itself is a paper. So be honest. Wherever you are going, there you have to keep. When reporting the data, when you are doing the result, be honest. Means what you have received from the analysis, use that only. Don't manipulate anything. You don't manipulate your tool or your data or the final result. So it is systematically truly doing, and finally we are coming to a conclusion and result. Nobody can manipulate the result of the scientific research. Then it should not be. We cannot say it is scientific. It has no use. If you are doing research in such a way, it has no use. Don't fabricate anything falsely. You don't write it. Don't misinterpret it, misrepresent it. So these are the matters to be considered under honesty. When you are doing something, do objectively. According to the objectives you have written, that way you do it. All the steps in data analysis and all, you keep that objectivity. And integrity. Integrity, what you have mentioned in the objective, that really that has to be done. That is what integrity. Saying one thing and doing another thing. That is not integrity. So what you say, do that. That sincerity you have to keep. Consistency you may have to keep throughout your action. Like that, be careful. In each and every step, be careful. Because of our fault, finally, after collecting the data, never you go back for collecting data. You don't make any circumstance or situation like that. So, step by step, you move ahead very carefully. Don't do any mistake. If we are doing the mistakes in the steps of the research, definitely that will affect our final data. So that data only help us for analysis and concluding and to come to the result. So be it like that. Openness should be there. If you are going to do something, you tell them. Openly you tell, but if you are going to collect or take one tool of other person, tell them. With their permission, you do it. And you should be open to share your ideas with the guide and your peers if you are open minded, because if MAPC students are doing together, this discussion will help them not to not to repeat the same study for same topic for same session. So you can keep a lot of things if you are genuine. That doesn't mean that to share your data with others. No, that will be dangerous. Because if others are taking your data after completing this work, this will be very ridiculous thing, and it will be an insult and insult for you, no? So be careful and be open. And be open when you are getting the criticism from the guide. If guide is telling you to repeat the same thing, repeat. Because guide is a learned person. That is why his name is guide. Don't hesitate to get the information from the guide and the people who know things. That is what that openness. Then respect for intellectual property. That's a very big issue nowadays, you know. Don't do plagiarism. You have to honor the patents, copyrights, rules and all. If your data is taken by some other people, the same way others may also feel if we are taking their thing. So copyright issue is a very big legal issue. So be careful and don't take anything. Don't adopt anybody's things, anybody's write-up or anything without anybody's permission and the concerned person's permission. If you are taking reference, write the source in the reference. Without that, you don't do that. And more than 30% of things are found as the reference itself is a plagiarism offense, because that report will be rejected, telling that the report is more than 30% of the matters are written from somewhere, and this is not the own write-up of the person and own research of the person. Like that, that may happen. Nowadays, you know, there are so many plagiarism softwares are there, so anybody who are interested to find it out can do it, can find it out, and there are chance for rejection of your things. Confidentiality, that is why I told you, if openness is good, but carefulness is needed. That is, both are coming there, and that is what confidentiality. You don't reveal unnecessary matters to others. Confidential communications have to be protected. If you are submitting your tool for getting data from some person, and you are writing that this will be confidentially used for this research only, and after doing your research, this data is used for some other purposes, that is not integrity. So that also have to be kept in mind. What you are promising to your people who are helping you to do the things, that promise have to be fulfilled. And sometimes you have to take some data from some government offices, some government sectors, some military persons. Sometimes we are doing clinical research. We have to take the clinical data, case histories of some patients. Never reveal that matters to others. That is what confidentiality. Then mentoring, responsible mentoring. Wherever we are doing, and this is applicable for guide also. Research ethics is always applicable for guide, at the same time the researcher, the student. So whenever they are guiding a student, don't take that topic to give to others. You don't sign the topic, sign the thesis or the report without going through, without guiding them. That is the ethics of the researcher. So whatever things we are doing should be helpful for others, and advise others for their well-being only. So always promote their welfare and allow them to make their own decisions. So you don't overlap with them. If you are a guide, allow the student to tell their opinions. Allow them to write. You don't go and write for them. You allow them to write. You allow them to develop themselves. But at the same time, control. So when we are rearing up a child, we are giving the freedom, at the same time controlling. Like that, a guide has to monitor a student. So also we have to respect the guide. When the guide is telling something, you are taking all the benefit from the guide, and after telling, you are telling rumors to others and all. No, never do that. So that mutual respect and understanding should be there. Keep always that in mind. Sometimes we had issues. Some students, without the permission of the guide, they put the digital signature and submitted. It made so many problems, and the student had to stop the study itself. Don't do that. Always respect others, obey others, show your responsibility and mutual respect. And moreover, what all things we are doing is the well-being of the society. So be responsibility, do responsible things for the society. And never, you have to meet so many people, we have to be with so many others to do something in every step of our research. Never you say abusing words or other things for others. Don't say any discriminating terminologies or behavior or body language for people among others in the name of politics or in the name of color, ethnicity, race, caste, religion. This has to be kept in mind. That is also a very big responsibility towards students. We have seen so many films and all, like this Janaganamana and all. So many students are coming before the guides, and guides are helping or mentoring for so many students. But respect each other. There should not be any discrimination regarding this type of sex, race, ethnicity, and other factors. Always keep that also in your mind, and ensure your competency in doing in every step. Your competency has to be developed. Not for, I already told, not for just getting a certificate, but for developing yourself. And keep the legality, institutional, governmental policies all have to be obeyed. Like that, when we are doing some research, if some zoology students or life science students, environmental students, if they are doing some project works, if they have to deal with animals, don't be cruel with animals. We have to take care, we have to protect even animals and human beings. Not to, no need to say further, like that. So be always in a human touch. Without humanity, we don't deal anything. So all these have to be a very important thing for us research ethics. I think I have given you an overall view regarding the preparation of synopsis project, and then doing internship and research ethics. Always keep in mind, and this will be available in IGNOU Regional Center Cochin's YouTube channel, and you can see further, and you can tell your friends to view the Facebook live session done already. We will upload it in the YouTube channel also, and make it beneficial for you for further doing. I think in almost all sessions this will be beneficial for students. And thank you very much for uh, sharing these ideas for your well-being and for the good preparation of your topics in project and internship. Thank you once again.